And we're coming to you live for the Bill Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan, simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app, good Tuesday morning. Boomer is back after getting a colonoscopy yesterday. And I did hear you have a pretty good line out there to Maggie and Perloff. There's something about getting the camera up your butt on tax day that really is
the symbolism of it all.
The symbolism is great.
I initially had election day was my day, and then
that's right.
Oddly enough, an opening popped up.
Yeah.
Here's a Buckley's.
Thank you. I know I need it.
That's okay.
I took a bunch yesterday as well. Listen.
But there's a symbolism about having, getting something jammed up your A gap on tax day. So I took it, and everything's fine. Everything's good. I do recommend. I'm not getting paid to say this. I do this as like my fourth one, and the reason that I did this, and I have been doing my colonoscopies, is because unfortunately my good friend Chris Collinsworth's brother passed away from colon cancer. I think at the age of I want to say he was 40.
Jeez.
And I remember going to his funeral and just thinking myself, I got to go get checked. And I think I was 40 at the time, and so I've done it every 5 years.
Yeah, I've got to get on that train now. I'm 41, going to be 42. I have not had one yet, so I'll schedule mine maybe for election day.
There's a really bad part of it, and there's a really good part of it. The bad part of it is all night long you're up in the bathroom.
That's right.
But the really good part of it is when they give you the propofol. And they put you to sleep, and you're like,
perfect.
And I'm like, oh man, you have no idea if anybody's violated you or anything. So, but I got to tell you, that sleep is unbelievable. It's worth whatever's going on, downstairs is worth it.
Well, absolutely.
That's all I can say. So,
nice little PSA for the listeners out there. Make sure you take care of your business.
And I'm even better now because the New York Rangers, and I know you're going to talk about John Sterling. We're going to get to all that. Don't worry about it. We got a new program director.
Yeah.
I met that slap this morning. I don't know. He's oh boy, he's got his hands full.
He certainly does.
He's a Long Island guy, which I like. But the New York Rangers, here was the thing I was thinking about yesterday. They had to win this game, not because I wanted the President's Trophy. President's Trophy is great, and it is a great bounce-back season after what happened last year in the playoffs. So I think that is a great accomplishment by this team. But the reason that they had to win it is because for 175 days, they've been in first place. Now, they've been back and forth being number one overall, but in the Metro Division, they've been in first place. And if they would have lost this game last night to Ottawa and then the Hurricanes overtake them, that would have been a perceived, negative thing.
Like a choke job spot.
Yeah, exactly. And they played. Igor Shesterkin last night was still amazing, and he's going to have to do what Henrik did all those years.
Yeah.
Because at times the defense does get lacking. But I have to say, they gave me something that I didn't expect it. I thought that they were a playoff team because of their goaltending and because of some of their stars in their team. And a guy like Lafreniere really turning his whole entire career now on a path for superstardom. I would just say that it was great. It was very fulfilling watching this game last night. And then finishing it off with a shutout for Igor was great because he deserved it. He had to make 10 great ace saves again last night, and he always does. And that's the way it's going to go once we get into the playoffs this week. So that was a very, very satisfying victory last night, and it capped off the greatest single regular season in Rangers history. And there are a lot of guys that deserve credit for that, including the coach, who I was very melancholy on at the beginning of this whole thing.
Well, you were. When he was, I don't know about melancholy, but you were definitely a little. You didn't love the hire, and so far so good. Now you don't know you're going to be playing at this juncture because you still got one game left with the Capitals, one game left for the Red Wings for that other wild card. It will not be the Islanders in the first round. It's going to be the Islanders and the Hurricanes. That has been locked in. It's the same first round matchup that the Islanders had last year. I wanted a Rangers-Islanders first round. Maybe we get it later in the playoffs. We were lucky enough to get
second round. It would be second round if both teams win their playoff series. The Hurricanes, but I gotta say, I got to give the Hurricanes a lot of credit, man. They hung in there all year long, right on the heels of the Rangers. And then, for the Islanders, if you remember talking to Sydney around the trade deadline time.
Yeah.
We're not going to Edmonton. I don't know if you're going to Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, who knows, right? Vancouver, maybe. Teams that want to have toughness at the bottom of their lineup. Maybe Matt and Cal Clutterbuck would have been attractive for those teams. But as I said, look, man, it really comes down to the last 10 games of the season.
Well, 7-0-1 in their last 8.
But when you think about it, beating the Rangers and getting 3 points out of 2 games from them, and then winning last night and steamrolling the Devils team, they turned it on at the end of the season, and Lou Lamoriello deserves a lot of credit because he fired the coach, and he brought in a new coach, and the new coach somehow got this team to the playoffs. Now they in the Eastern Conference, that may be the toughest matchup, though.
Yeah, I know. And seeing them lose in 6 last year, I was actually at UBS in the clinching game for Carolina. I believe it was an overtime game. It was definitely a sad ending to that season. And here's the thing. I mean, it's tough for the Islanders because the Islanders, have 7-0-1. They come on a heater going into the playoffs, and they're running into this potential buzzsaw in Carolina. And it could be the same exact result as they had last year, where it's like, then what do you do with the team next year?
Well, that's up for Lou and everybody over there to figure that out. But at the end of the day, you got to give this team a lot of credit.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of people had counted them out. And I work with Fliegelman in the morning doing CBS Sports Minutes. He's been depressed.
Fleegs was counting them out. Huh?
I mean, he's been depressed for a long time. But today I show up and he's got a Sorokin jersey on.
Oh,
so
look at that! Good for him.
Happy.
Good for him.
So, and then on top of that, you have the Knicks with the number 2 seed, and I know you guys talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
And that is unbelievable. So a lot of things, are very similar to 1994. The Rangers, the 1 seed, the Knicks, the 2 seed. OJ's dead. OJ was involved in things.
OJ's involved.
Yes.
You say that, yeah.
Right, yeah.
He was alive in 94. He's dead now. But
he's dead.
Definitely a storyline, a headline. OJ in the news again.
Right, and how it impacts New York sports.
That is correct. So those are all good things. I was actually thrilled. Even though I wanted Rangers-Islanders, I was thrilled that the Rangers won that game because the last time that we came in here and the Rangers gave you 0 effort and you're starting to get nervous, you were impossible to deal with the next morning. So I was so happy that the Rangers won. You got your President's Trophy because I could not deal with it today. I was thinking about you upset about the Rangers coming off a colonoscopy the day after tax day, and you would have been insufferable today. It would have been very, very difficult. So we got happy, jovial, excited Boomer, which is great.
Yes.
And we'll hear all about the sports, and Jerry will have the highlights coming up. But we do have to mention, out of nowhere, we get the John Sterling news. And there was a caller who called up, if you remember, last week, and he goes, I hope John's okay. He doesn't sound very good. And we looked into it, and it said that he was missing some games because he was ill, and he had missed couple of those games, and all of a sudden yesterday you got like this weird flow of news where it was like John's going to have a press conference, announce his retirement, and then that was Friday, and then it was all of a sudden he's retiring effective immediately, and they're going to have a day for him on Saturday. And just talking to some people that had talked to him yesterday, it sounds like John is okay. I mean, he's telling everybody he's okay.
Guys, he is okay. He is fine.
Yeah. So, like, I'm going with that because that's what he's telling everybody.
But he's going to be 86.
No, I know, but here's the reason I bring this up is because there was multiple articles, the Post and Marchand in The Athletic, that were saying he's retiring amid health concerns.
Because he's 86.
Yeah, but you could be a healthy 86-year-old.
Yeah, you know who else should be retiring because of health concerns is the numbnuts in the White House. I mean, who knows what he's doing and what's going on there.
Yeah,
This is a guy that's 86 years old. He's got all of his faculties. We've heard him call games this year, but he's just tired.
No, yes, and that's it. But I just wanted to, because my mind, when it happened so quickly there, is he okay?
You know what I'm surprised about you?
Why?
Is that there was scuttlebutt around here for about 3 weeks, and you didn't know it, and I knew it.
Well, really? You knew about this?
Yeah, because he hadn't been feeling well, and he did have a little something. And I think he just got tired of traveling and the day-to-day. And you heard him tell Tiki that.
Yep.
And I believe him. And again, why wouldn't I believe him? And the fact is, I guess because of last year not going to the playoffs and having the ability to enjoy himself a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
I think that is something that's real. And I hope that he enjoys the rest of his life as long as it lasts and he gets the best out of it. And that Saturday, he's saluted by the fans who, what's amazing is he started with Susan in 2005.
No,
right,
it was earlier than that.
Is it earlier than that? I thought I read. Go ahead.
He was started since '89.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, he was 89. Was it him and Susan started in 2005 together or something? What I saw 2005 regards him.
This was his 20th year with Susan as his partner.
That's it. That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember, so they were partners in 2005. Craig and I started in 2007.
Right.
And this was after the whole Roger Clemens is in George Steinbrenner's
Yeah, in
box,
the box,
and all
yeah.
that other stuff.
Right.
And I remember Craig wanted to do that in the beginning of our show, and Chernoff wouldn't let him do that.
Yep.
And then the ratings came out, and we were number one.
And then all of a sudden,
you radio guys,
hands off.
You
Yeah.
know, I know how you radio guys are.
Sure.
As soon as you hit number one, you can't tell us anything. I hope Ryan Hurley knows that.
Well, I apparently there were ratings that came out yesterday, and no one told us about them.
Well, he's
because
gotta get
everything
on
was
this.
because we had the full winter book came out yesterday. I didn't get a text or an email from anybody, and I don't have access to it.
Well, Spike is totally now he's totally checked
Well, he's
out.
done, and so I asked Ryan. I said, "Did a book come out yesterday?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I don't even have access to it. Spike hasn't given me access to it yet." And then they're dealing with the Sterling thing, so it's like nobody's even caring about that.
Well, I know what it is. So, but that was the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and John deserves every bit of admiration and accolades that he's going to get on Saturday. And I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to really miss this.
You know how much content he's given us over the years?
My God, I can't even imagine going through a full baseball season now without him for the rest of the year. I can't even. It's going to be impossible. As long as this baseball season is, he provided so many fun moments throughout the year and the summer and the dead times and whatever it was. So it's gonna be different. But
I hope Saturday. We've had a lot of fun with John and Susan over the years.
Yeah,
but it's only because it is fun,
well,
and
yeah, he makes
especially
it fun.
especially when they win, and they do something spectacular. And those two have been an iconic broadcasting duo. I don't know how else you can say it. Now, I don't know how this affects Susan, after this year. I don't know what she wants to do. I don't want to put any words in her mouth, but I was just thinking, if you really wanted to, when Susan decides, okay, this is enough, if you really wanted to kind of recreate this whole thing, I got the perfect pairing.
Wait, recreate John and Susan?
Yeah, I got the perfect pairing.
Huh. These are people, obviously, we all know.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. The perfect pairing.
Yes.
I'll
Justin
say
Shackle's one of them.
Justin Shackle and Kim Jones.
No, I didn't think about Kim. There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go. Justin and Danielle. I'm telling you, that would be unbelievable.
Hey, I've heard worse ideas.
I think Ryan Hurley should get on that right now. I mean, that's his first big decision.
It is funny, though, that, everybody sent him, I'm sure, the same joke over and over again. Like, oh, John Sterling retires, your first day of the job, would you fire John Sterling? I'm sure they sent him that joke. But what's fitting to me is, when you are the program director at WFAN, there has to be some sort of initiation process for you, immediately. And for Hurley, it was just John Sterling thing happening out of nowhere for him and him having to just see the chaos of that in his first day. But I feel good for John. He sounded great yesterday. He sounded really good at the beginning of the season. Sounds better than me right now with my voice. So I just, as you said, I just really hope that he can live another 10 years if possible and enjoy the hell out of all of it, because he's a
treasure.
He's a young 86. I'll tell you that much.
He's sharp. He's very sharp, actually. And, I think last year, you remember when he got hit with the ball?
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, but we played it 1,000 times.
It was so good. Yeah.
Because he was so good, and he was so good because he didn't try to be good. He didn't have to try.
Yeah.
It just came natural. And that's the greatest thing about him as a broadcaster, that, some of it was contrived, some of it was, you know, the
He's
home
a
run
showman,
calls.
man.
Yes,
He's a showman.
Exactly.
And we loved it, and we knew he wasn't trying to be anybody else. That was him. You know, it wasn't like he was a guy who didn't talk like that and was doing it for schmaltz on the air. That's who he was. He loved Broadway shows. He loved being a showman. He liked singing. It's like that's who he is. And he brought that to the booth in probably, you know, one of the most iconic jobs in sports broadcasting, and was able to change the tune of it in a way. So, and I wonder because, you know, you got these guys, you know, Justin Shackle and Emmanuel Babari that are in there, but, you know, now that he's officially done, you would imagine that there's a million broadcasters out there that are sending resumes over to leave whatever their full-time job is to be the voice of the Yankees.
Yeah. Well, before we even get to that, you know, that decision is way away. Maybe it's Justin and Emmanuel stay. You never know. I mean, a lot of it's going to come down to is like how much scratch we got.
Yeah,
you know,
so
we don't get enough scratch, you know. So, you know, whoever the low bidder is may get the job. You never know.
Well, that's probably why these young guys are doing it, right?
Yeah, but they have to cut their teeth somewhere. And, you know, by the way, both of them have done a really good job, you know, and it's going to be interesting to see what Susan wants to do now, you know, because I don't know, you know, it's a tough thing when, like, out of the blue, your partner just decides to retire or resign.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Or go to jail or whatever. You know?
Right.
I kind of know that feeling. I mean, so she's probably, I would think, wondering, you know,
What's
what
going
her
on?
future is. Yeah.
That's right. What is going on?
But I will
What is the
say
future?
that both, I think Chris Olivero especially has treated them like with the respect that they both deserve for the amount of time that they've been there and everything that they've done. I don't know, you know, Chernoff was very similar in age, so I think he was a little bit harder on them, I'm sure.
Similar in age.
Yeah.
Chernoff is 85?
Isn't he like 100?
No, I mean, Chernoff's, I don't think he's even 70 yet, Chernoff.
Well, he's in their age bracket.
I mean,
I'm almost in their age bracket.
No.
And I'm not going until 86. I can tell you snapperheads that right now. That's not happening.
Well, that's too bad because we've got you penciled in for at least 85.